Variety princess, yeah. Variety princess, yeah. Variety princess, yeah. Hi guys, how is everyone doing? Hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. I was about to say Wednesday. It is not Wednesday yet. I was not late. Okay. Maybe by a minute. But I mean, or maybe I clicked it at 9 and you guys' internet is just laggy or something. Like, maybe that's what happened. Okay, let me... Hi, Rissy. Hi, Supreme. Hi, Michelle. Hi, everybody. I'm excited to be jumping back in this. I'm excited to see what happens next. See, I told you guys, I was really over here, like, just sitting here relaxing and, like, drinking water. Just to make sure I'm able to, like, read like a normal human being because it's a lot of reading in this game. I can't lie. All right, let me go ahead and actually, what do I want to do here? Sorry guys, I gotta get everything organized on my screen here. So first off, I need to move myself back in this corner because when we were playing like Yakuza and all that, I was, you know, I was up here, but okay, wait, actually, smooth this over a little bit. Don't want it too close to the edge. Bro, I can't see shit. You guys are probably like, girl, why don't you just put your glasses on? I don't know. Sometimes I just don't like putting my glasses on. Okay, I think that's good. And then, of course, you guys have to help me with the... you guys have to help me with the sound. Just to make sure, like, you know, the music and all of that isn't too loud or anything. No, I wasn't. I actually wasn't, Michelle. That's funny. I genuinely wasn't only talking to you when I said that, but I can see why you think that. How's your internet been, by the way? All right, let's see here. How many should we do? I feel like I kind of... Supreme, thank you so much. Thank you for that. Welcome. Welcome
Supreme
to the...
Royale became a member.
Yes. Thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Night Squad. I feel like I need like... Hold on. I need some lotion or something on my hands. They feel quite dry. I'm not here for this dryness. Can't be having crusty hands out here, guys. I love this. I love how relaxing this game is. Like, and I don't know if you guys saw the schedule I posted. So today we're obviously playing Our Life Beginnings and Always, and then thank you so much, Supreme. I appreciate you. Thank you for that. VIP super chat. What was I about to say? Oh, so tomorrow is a day off. I don't know though. I really don't know. Tomorrow I might stream Venus City. But I don't know because tomorrow I'm working at Bahama Mamas. The city's been down for a couple of days. We're preparing for like the official opening. I can't wait. I'm excited. I mean, you guys are probably like, the city's not open. Well, it hasn't really officially been opened for anybody to be able to join. Tomorrow it will be. So yeah, I might stream that, but tomorrow I'm working at Bahama Mamas and I don't want my stream. I can turn the music down, but I hate doing that. Thursday, we're doing the grand opening of Uwu Cafe, which we had did in that other city. You guys, I'm sure some of you saw that stream when we did the grand opening, but that was over there. We haven't done it over here yet. So we're doing a grand opening. And then my video stops playing when I leave YouTube. Did you like swipe up and like close YouTube, or did you just kind of like, I don't know how to explain what I'm saying. Because when I was on there, well, first let me just finish what I'm saying, because I can be talking about 5 different things at once and never finish my thoughts. Thursday is Uwu Cafe opening. Friday, day off. Saturday, gonna try to finish the quarry like earlier in the day. That's my goal. My goal is to do like an early stream of that and like finish it. And then Sunday, Yakuza. I'm excited. I'm hyped for Yakuza because Kiryu and Majima are about to cross paths. So can't miss that. What was I about to say? You left it open but went to Twitter. Okay, so for me, before I was streaming, because I took a nap. That's why I started the stream kind of like at the time that I did, because I was like, I don't want to be rushing and like tired. So I took a nap after work, and when I woke up, I was checking my phone and I was on YouTube. And when I went to YouTube, I was watching something, and then I swiped up. And you know, when you swipe up and you're watching a YouTube video, it usually just stops and goes away because you're out of the app. But it was like a pop out for me. It was like a pop out small video. Like when you're on Twitch and you swipe up and you go to Twitter or whatever other app, the Twitch stream is still playing as like a small video on your screen. That's what it was doing for me. And I don't have YouTube Premium. I went in my account settings and like double checked, like, do I have like a free trial or something? I didn't. And then I even switched to one of my old YouTube pages that I definitely know I don't have YouTube Premium or anything on, because I don't even use that page anymore. And it was still doing it. So, I don't know. I don't have Premium. No, I went in my settings and I checked. And like I said, to double check, I went to another channel. Or maybe it hasn't, maybe it's rolling out. You know how Twitter kind of rolls out new features for people over time? They don't give everybody the same features all at once. It kind of comes for certain people, and then, or maybe you updated your app? That could be another thing too. Maybe it's like the newest update. I don't know, but I definitely don't have YouTube Premium, and the video was playing, and I was like, this is a freaking game changer for people that create content on YouTube, because those of you that watch our videos and our streams and stuff, it'll like still play for you guys while you're doing other things, which is great, because I love watching Twitch while I'm still able to do other things, because I can listen to what's going on and whatnot. So, and you can still support like whoever you're watching without having to just leave like on YouTube. So, and maybe it's just a little glitch in the system. I don't know. There was somebody that responded to my tweet though and said that it was doing the same thing for them. So I'm thinking it might just be a new feature that they're adding in. And if they aren't adding it in now, they're probably going to add it in soon. Because to compete with Twitch, they're going to have to make it so that videos are able to be played like that. You know? I don't know. I am having a pretty good day. Work's been kind of crazy lately, guys. Not going to lie. But I've just kind of been trying not to stress over what I can't control. And just focusing on what I can't control, because that's all you can really do in this life. So, but let's go ahead and get into this game. I kind of want to do all of these, honestly, guys. I know we're going to be here for a few hours too, because this is a lot, but I feel like these are going to be really interesting. Well, this one too. I'm excited for all of them. They all look great. Like, these are cool and all, but it's like wave, family, dinner, growing. This is like road trip, the mall, somebody's birthday. Whose birthday is it? I don't know. We don't know whose birthday it is. Summer work, like maybe somebody has summer school. Who's in summer school? Are we gonna help them? Like, escapade. What does that mean? Soiree. We're throwing a soiree. Like, all of them just seem interesting to me compared to these. So I'm excited. So let's go ahead and start with road trip. Alright guys, let me know how the music is, because I want the music to still be able to be heard, but I don't want it to be overbearing. And I want their voices, you guys should be able to hear their voices pretty well, but also I want the sound of the music to override my computer, because I know you guys can hear my computer when I'm streaming. I want you guys to be able to just kind of hear the music over that, and then hear my talking over the music, if that makes sense. So, how does this sound, guys? Like, let me just read this part. You guys tell me what you think. Even though you were awake, the sun had barely peeked its head above the horizon, and the sky above was still dark, though lightning by the minute. Holy shit. I should have did some tongue twister games before I started this. Oh wait, that's my other water bottle. Hey, yeah, you guys could watch me while you do other things. That would be fun. It sounds good. I need everybody. I need you guys. We're going to do a poll. We're going to do a poll. Actually, no, we're not doing a poll, guys. Just tell me. Just tell me if the sound sounds good. Michelle, does it sound good? Supreme, does it sound good? Like, whoever else is in the chat, does it sound good? Like, can you guys hear the music over my loud-ass computer? That's all I care about. But I don't want it to be too loud to where you guys can't really hear what I'm saying. It's good? Music is a tad low, but I can manage. I turned it up a little bit, so it should be a little louder now. You can hear it? Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're awake apparently. The sun above is still dark, though lightning by the minute. So is it night? Well, it says even though you... Is it nighttime or is it... I'm guessing is it morning time? It says the sun had barely peeked its head above the horizon. So I guess it's like dawn. Or sunrise, I should say. Whatever. Same shit, right? Usually you wouldn't be up so early, especially during summer vacation. But today was different. Today, instead of the lazy days you were used to, everything around you was a flurry of activity as both your family and Cove's prepared for what lay ahead. We're going on a road trip with Cove's family? That's gonna be fun. Because parked in the street just outside your house was a massive RV camper, so big you couldn't even see Cove's house behind it. Oh wow. His parents had rented the RV for a few days to take him on a short road trip to see Redwood National Park. You glanced at Cove, who was standing nearby, taking in the scene in front of him. The prospect of the trip had to be a mixed bag for him, but it was only 3 days, so it seemed he was dealing with it as best he could. Are we going camping? Are we going camping, guys? I love camping, even though I've never been. I don't know why. Camping just has always looked so much fun to me. Especially now that you and your family were joining them. Ah, yes, we're going. That didn't even sink in for me for a second. We're going camping, guys. I'm hype. I'm freaking hype. Oh my gosh. Hold on. I need to send a quick text message. Oh my gosh, we're going camping. You're good off the camping? I feel like it would be fun to go. Even if I stayed in RV the entire time, I feel like it would still be fun. I've just always wanted to sleep in a tent. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like it'll be fun. Okay. You weren't sure how exactly it had happened. You knew your parents and Cove spoke to each other often, and somewhere along the way, plans were made after Cliff offered to share the space. I have a question for you guys. That have kind of been watching this or watched the last part. What character is your favorite? Do you like, and you can't say my character. So do you like Cove? Do you like my sister Lizzie / Elizabeth? Do you like my mom? Do you like my mommy that I now call Ma? Do you guys like Cove's mom, Kira? Do you like Cove's dad, Cliff? Do you like my cousin, what's her name, Lee? Like, who are you guys feeling? Who's your favorite character so far? Or right now? Because I know, character development can cause you to maybe not like somebody so much later on. Or maybe become more fond of somebody that you didn't really like. Who do you guys like? And then when you guys tell me your faves, I'll tell you my fave. You can pick 2 favorite characters. How about that? You could pick 2. If you had to choose 2, who are your favorites? If you had to choose 2, you'll know in a few. Okay, Supreme, by the end of this stream, you have to tell me who your 2 faves are. I know you probably didn't see my other, like the first part and all of that. So, by the end of the stream, though, you got to tell me who your 2 faves are. So you like Cove, Chase. Okay. Okay. Feeling Cove. My favorites are, damn, it's hard. I like all of them in their own way. Um, I like Cove, but I don't think he's my favorite though. I like Lizzie. I like Lizzie's annoying as shit from my point of view as my character, but like from my point of view as Deja, I like her character because her character has a lot of personality. Like since the beginning, like whenever she was around, I knew something interesting was gonna happen. Like she keeps things interesting. So I really like her character. Um who else do I like? Um Derek seemed really cool, but we haven't seen him. We haven't seen him yet, like again. Um who else do I like? I don't know. I like all of them in their own way though. Um I would say right now Lizzie's probably my favorite just because she keeps things interesting. Like she's probably the most intriguing character for me since the beginning because I don't know. Whenever she's around, there's always something happening. So whether it's like something bad, something good, like she keeps shit interesting. You're feeling covey? Okay. You weren't sure how exactly it had happened. You knew your parents and Coves spoke to each other often, and somewhere along the way, plans were made after Cliff offered to share the space. The parents all thought it was a fantastic idea. You had already gotten a good look inside while helping to load everything in, and you had to admit that while it was a really big car, fitting that many people inside was going to be snug.
Let's go.
Move it or lose it, kiddo. Mom bustled past with a cooler in one hand and a large bottle of water in the other. She was upbeat for this early in the morning. Oh, she wrapped. Oh, this girl said, I'm tired. Like, I'm about to be asleep on this RV ride to wherever the hell we going. I know they said it, but I forgot what it said. Some sort of national park. I don't know, but Ma says she's staying wrapped up with her little cozy robe. She says she ain't got the time. Ma, however, seemed to be on the other side of the wavelength. She followed behind her wife, dragging her feet on every step. Yeah, she says she ain't got time. She says she about to knock out real quick. I'm gonna need a whole jug of coffee once we hit the road. You could relate to Ma. It was way too early. Personally, you were as raring to go as your mom. You felt like you were a middle ground between the two. Ooh. I don't want to say this one because I'm actually excited. Like, I'm excited as myself and my character. But it is kind of early. So maybe I feel like kind of in between. No, I don't know. No, I'm hyped. Fuck it. We ball. You stretched your arms out and took in some deep breaths. The air was still a little damp from dew, but you didn't mind it. My girl. And then at the end of the chain came your sister. She had a bone to pick before the trip officially started. Her rattling off critiques added some level of normalcy to everything new going on. See, she always talking shit. She keeps shit interesting. Ugh. I don't get why I can't sleep in the bed tonight. Rain is the youngest and I'll never fall asleep in that loft. We're trying to make things fair on everyone. If you want to play the older card, you should be offering to take the loft both nights. It's important for big siblings to make sacrifices for their younger ones. Hi, Goth Cat. What's up? Welcome to the stream. If I have any questions about it, you can answer them. Okay, great. Thank you so much. If I have any questions, I'll be sure to let you know. Elizabeth huffed, not happy with that answer in the slightest, and folded her arms, leaning back against the side of the RV. Can we see, I want to see the RV. Well, where is it? The trip plans had been nailed down prior, the sleeping arrangements included. Elizabeth still held on to her objections with them. There was a main area of the RV with a couch, loft, and some floor space. At the end of the car was a room with a large bed. Your moms were sharing the bed, Kira was on the couch, and father and son intended to sleep on the floor. The adults determined you and Elizabeth would switch between the small loft above the driver's seat and sharing the bed with moms. You were fine with the arrangements. You were excited to sleep in a loft. You felt sharing a bed with your parents was going to be awkward. You were looking forward to a sleepover with your moms. You weren't too happy either, but didn't want to make a fuss. You thought it was unfair that Cove had to sleep on the floor. I mean, well, how big is this bed? Like 4 of us in there? That bed must be huge, I'm guessing. I mean, I guess I'm fine with it. As long as you had a place to rest your head of some description, it didn't bother you. All right, you lot. Does everyone have everything they need? She's so cute. We're heading out in 5 minutes. Now's the time to double check. You don't want to forget something important. At the word, Elizabeth yelped and dashed back into the house, her bedhead hair bouncing behind her as she went. Ma came over and gave you a smile, setting her hands on her hips. How about you, Rain? Do you have all your clothes packed? Toiletries, deodorant, floss, anything else you can think of? You were confident you had it all. You weren't sure about that. Oh, you had to run back inside for something. You just gave her a flat look. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I can't remember what. That's me in real life. Like, when I was in Texas, anytime I, got, left somewhere in the airport or left somewhere, anywhere I was, when I would leave, I'd be like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Even though I wasn't forgetting anything, but I feel like it's better to feel like you are so that you can, run it through your head a little bit before you leave. Did I leave this? Did I leave this? So yeah, that's how I am in real life. Ma chuckled and gave you a squeeze on the shoulder. I get like that on trips too, so I've learned to pack extra in case I or anyone else forgets. With the amount of supplies we've stuffed into the RV, I think we'll be okay. It's only a few days after all. Thanks, Ma. With a few minutes left to spare before leaving, you mentally went over what you had packed for the trip. Clothes, a pillow and blanket, usual day-to-day gear for most people. You also had more personal things such as a portable gaming console, pencils and paper, your favorite stuffed animal, a couple of things to read, a bag of makeup, a ball, your camera, an MP3 player with headphones. Okay, so what would I take? Because Rain is pretty much me, kind of. Me remixed. So, portable gaming console for sure. The drive to the Redwood National Park would take an entire day one way, so you want to make sure you had a way to entertain yourself while traveling there and back. Oh, damn. Okay, so definitely that. An MP3 player is something I would definitely take. With so much time going to be spent driving in a car, you want to make sure you'd be able to have some music to put on. A couple of things to read is also something I would take. You have packed one of your old favorites and a new one you never tried before. Something is my eye. Okay. You knew you'd have plenty of time for them both on such a long drive. And a camera for sure. And I think that's probably it. It was just a little pocket camera you had gotten from your mom's, but you couldn't miss the opportunity to take some new snaps. And that was everything. Hey, let me take that for you, Rain. I'll stow it in the RV. There's a few spots left. It'll fit. You let Kira take your bag and gave her a grateful smile. With nothing left to do, you watched the others getting ready for the trip. Kira and Cliff seemed to have the most energy of anyone. They were finishing packing the suitcases away while your moms had gone to lock up the house. They high-fived whenever another one got crammed into the storage compartments of the vehicle. Even though your own parents were more low-key than Cove's, you could tell they were both excited for the trip. It had been a while since your family had been away anywhere together. Elizabeth skipped towards the RV, a bag slung over her shoulder, and you were surprised to see she seemed more optimistic about the whole ordeal now. Usually she wasn't one to exit the confines of her room unless it was for TV or food or to leave her family behind to be with friends. You would have thought 3 whole days packed in an RV with 6 others would be too much for her, but it was a nice surprise. You supposed any vacation was better than no vacation in her mind. You left your mouse at the hotel? Oh, damn. Uh-oh, Supreme. Cove had been pretty quiet so far, and more than anything, seemed to be overwhelmed by the situation. You were excited for the trip too. You weren't very excited for the trip either. You were eager to get to the destination. You were curious about the RV. You didn't feel much either way about. I'm excited. It was great to get away and explore new places. Soon the miscellaneous remaining tasks had all been wrapped up. Oh, this is nice. That loft is cool as hell, though. That's really cool. How do you get up there, though? Where's the ladder for it? Maybe it's over here on the side behind this little wall or something. But, so you just sleep over the driver? That's cool. Everyone piled into the RV. It was officially time for the trip to start. And it did. Cliff took the first shift driving. He cautiously navigated the massive car out of the narrow neighborhood streets. It was touch and go for the first part of the journey. Your moms and Kira were all huddled at the front trying to get a view of how much space they had on each side. There was a sense of relief when the first long leg of the trip was hit, and the RV would only need to go down one stretch of highway for miles. The mom group cleared out of the driver's area, leaving Cove's dad to it, taking more comfortable seats around the main cabin. You felt like you could finally relax now too. Time slipped by as morning faded away. Before you realized it, the engine of the RV came to a stop, but only halted for a few moments as Cliff climbed out from the driver's seat and Mom took over. Mom was sitting shotgun, giving Mom a quick tutorial on the controls, as it was her first time driving anything this large. Cliff groaned as he headed towards the rest of you, stretching his arms above his head and loosening up his muscles. We're making good progress. Okay, boy, I see you with your shades. Yeah, maybe you should take a nap in the back for a while. That was a long haul, you just said, and I know you're on less sleep than usual. Cliff waved a hand, that trademark grin of his slipping into place.
Nah.
I don't need sleep. I've still got a few miles in the old tank. He flexed an arm, showing off his muscles to drive the point about how resilient he was home. And Kira rolled her eyes in amusement. Dad, everybody has to sleep. Cove shook his head at the tough guy act, though Cliff simply chuckled and ruffled his son's hair.
So?
Are you going to be driving again anytime soon, Mr. Holden? I want to know so I can prepare. Did anyone pack some rope? I might need it. There's no seatbelts up here. Elizabeth called down from where she was lounging in the loft above the driving compartment. She was laying on her back, her hair falling over the side and swinging around as the RV started up again and took off down the road. Yeah, I feel like an RV trip would be fun. A bag of potato chips was balanced on Elizabeth's stomach, and she tossed a couple in her mouth right as Cliff held a hand to his chest, pretending to be offended by the remark. Kira laughed lightheartedly.
Don't worry about that.
Lucky for all of us, we have enough adults to cover the shifts today. He won't be driving again until tomorrow. You stayed quiet. You shook your head at the ribbing. Phew, that's a relief. Just enough time to write up my last will and testament. We shouldn't gang up on the poor guy. It's not his driving I'm worried about. I'm gonna say that. Let's not forget how many times Mom has put a dent in our car. It was only twice, and neither of those times was my fault, thank you very much. Mom then shouted back in her seat to join in the conversation, a playful smile tilting her lips. What I'm more worried about is this old monster getting us there and back again before falling apart. It looks as though it was built in the early 90s. It must be older than some of the occupants. That's just the aesthetic of the decor. It's not that old, I think. Did you ask what year the model was before you rented it? Kira wrinkled her nose and thought. Hey. Yes, I did. I just can't remember what the answer was. Cliff chuckled at her while the rest of you let out a collective sigh. That's cool, Michelle. The RV lurched a little as it picked up speed, and you held onto the ladder to the loft to keep your balance. You felt something graze the top of your head before a weight settled on your brown hair. When you tilted your chin up carefully to look, you heard the rustling of the bag of chips and realized Elizabeth had rested the end of it on your head. She gestured to the opening, silently offering to share her snack. I'll take some, sure. Reaching up, you scooped up some chips. After that, the weight of the packet left your scalp. You happily munched away as the conversation continued on, and you got closer and closer to your destination. The day flew by, with the group of you chatting, playing games, and passing the time together before finally arriving at the park and setting up for the night. Mom was closing the windows while everyone got ready for bed, saying goodnight to the others as she made her way to the back room. Hello, Fred. What's up? Welcome to the stream. You had all had dinner together while still driving, and some hours after had arrived at your destination and found a spot to park in for the rest of your stay. Giving a look across the front of the RV, you noticed almost everyone there was already dozing off where they were, with Cove having completely fallen asleep curled up in the passenger seat. I feel like Cove been like MIA the entire ride there. Like he said one thing and I don't know. He must have done so while Kira was driving the last leg and they had decided not to disturb him. Kira herself was the only one up there who was still awake, flipping through a magazine next to a portable light from her spot on the couch. It seemed Mr. Holden needed to sleep despite his claims. You followed your moms into the back room and closed the door behind you before crawling onto the bed between them. It was a queen-size bed, so there was enough space for the three of you together without too much squishing.
Good night.
Get a good rest, Rain. We've got a big day ahead of us tomorrow.
That's fantastic.
I'm looking forward to the bushwalk in the morning. It's been a long time since I was out in nature like this. There will be plenty for us to see. You stayed awake for a little while longer while your moms whispered about the park and forest in general. With the sound of their voices in the background, eventually you nodded off to sleep. Okay. The next morning you were up bright and early preparing for the day ahead. I had an okay sleep. It was nothing compared to your bed at home, but at least you didn't have to sleep on the floor, so you couldn't complain too much. Mom whined a bit about the firmness of the mattress, but Mom had only encouraged her to enjoy the trip while she could. While looking for a spot to get ready, you had some trouble finding a space of your own, as the others were doing the same thing. Cove was perched on top of the counter, brushing his hair and tucking up his legs every time someone wanted to move past. He's just sitting on the counter over here where we prepare food. The parents were checking, double checking, and triple checking that you had everything to the point where you had stopped listening to them altogether. You knew you wouldn't be returning to the RV at all that day, but by the look of the backpacks that were packed up and ready to go, you doubted anything was missing from them. It didn't take much longer until you all exited the RV in a bustle and headed into the Redwood National Park.
Wow.
Yeah, Cove been chillin'. He been chillaxin'. Cove had his head tilted up towards the canopy of trees, his eyes wide as he took in the massive trunks on either side of you. You knew that the redwood trees were considered the tallest trees on Earth, but you weren't prepared for exactly how huge they would be in person.
Come on.
Smile, you two. You spun just in time for Kira to snap a picture of you and Cove together before she pointed her camera at Cliff, trying to get a shot despite his weak protest that she should just enjoy the moment. Your parents were walking behind the group a little, with Mom telling Ma some information she had read about the park in a brochure. Ma listened happily while looking around and taking in the sights, every now and then asking a question or making a joke about something Mom had said. You smiled at them, thinking your mom must have read a lot of pamphlets to know so much about the park. Maybe you should come and work here as a tour guide if you know so much about the place. Elizabeth teased, earning a squeeze on the nose from your mom. She seemed to be enjoying herself, but you thought that might just be because she was amused by everyone else's reactions. You were in awe of the redwood trees. You were fascinated by the sensations surrounding you. You were in a good mood. You weren't as impressed as the others. You were embarrassed that the adults were being so touristy. I'm fascinated by the sensations surrounding me. Bird calls echoed all around you, and once or twice something would rustle in underbrush. You strained your eyes through the trees of any sign of wildlife and managed to catch a glimpse of rabbit bounding through the foliage. The adults had decided on some casual nature walks rather than any serious hiking, and you strolled together at your own pace, taking in the scenery. Elizabeth sped up a little smirking at Cove as she fell into place between the two of you, and immediately you could tell by her expression she was going to say something taunting. I can't believe our families are actually on vacation together. She threw her arms out, speaking with a genuine sense of bewilderment. I would have joked about something like this happening, but now I'm not sure I want to give them any more ideas. Cove smiled at her, even if it was a little awkwardly, and continued walking along. Just watch. Next year they'll be talking about their next new amazing idea. She put on a fake voice deeper than her own. We should just sell both our houses and move in together. Think of how much we'd save on the mortgage. That would actually be fun if we all lived together, though. It was clear that Elizabeth was being sarcastic. Cove simply shook his head, not really bothered by her. You suppose he was used to it by this point. But seriously, they really do act like we're a single family just because we live across the street from each other. So what, girl? We grew up together. It's fine. She's just like, this is why I like her, though, because she's just always talking shit. She keeps things interesting. When everybody else is being all butterflies and cupcake, she's talking shit and being blunt. She's annoying, though. From my character's point of view, she's kind of irritating sometimes. I was about to say something, but I forget what. Elizabeth gave you and Cove a look, her eyes glinting with mischief as she leered at you. I know what I was about to say. I wonder how Cove feels about Lizzie, because when we were kids, he didn't really care for her that much. So,
Yeah.
maybe one day we will be related, legally anyway. Oh, God. She said it as though she was a gossipy old lady. Maybe. I guess you and me could get married, Elizabeth. She watch her face drop.
What?
Me? Yeah, that way Rain would be my sister-in-law. That would be fun. He's teasing her. Because she's obviously talking about Rain and Cove, but he's saying that to, you know, turn it back around on her. Elizabeth stuck her tongue out at Cove as if the very idea were ridiculous. You told her to cut it out already. Cove has a point. It wasn't a great comment. I'll marry you, Cove. Oh my gosh, that's kind of forward. You ignored Elizabeth. You were embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. Why does she always have to say things like that? It wasn't fun and she knew it. After no further replies, your sister walked ahead. You and Cove swapped uncomfortable looks. The day continued on with plenty to see and experience. You passed a few different activities that you would have liked to try out if you had the time, such as kayaking and rock climbing, but Mom said that will have to wait for another trip. There was a little stream during the walk that you sat beside and set out a picnic for lunch, nibbling on a selection of fruit, sandwiches, and chips. Question, chat. Do any of you guys make your own smoothies? Do any of you guys make your own smoothies at home? Just curious. Because I want to start drinking some smoothies, working some more fruit into the diet, you know? But I've never made any smoothies at home, so I was just wondering if there were any that you guys recommend. Alrighty. Cookies and creams or strawberries? Oh. No, I mean like fruit smoothies. There's cookies and cream smoothies? Aren't smoothies supposed to be like healthy kind of though, a little bit? You need to? Various birds flew by overhead and you made a game out of guessing the species that were hanging out in the trees nearby. You even managed to get a couple of them right, including the kingfisher that grabbed half of Cliff's sandwich. Oh, damn. You were glad you got to do this in the end. You were disappointed to only have one day in the park. You thought the trip wasn't worth only one day here. You had more fun hanging out in the RV. You hadn't had a good time with this trip. I'm kind of sad we only have one day. There was so much here, and you felt like you'd need a whole week, maybe even more, to experience it all. You sighed quietly to yourself, wondering if you'd get the chance to come back. Smoothies are still sugary. You're probably thinking about the protein shakes. No, I'm thinking of like fruit smoothies. Protein shake? I'm talking about smoothies. Your group made it back to camp just as the sun was setting in the sky and the stars were appearing one by one. Everyone had enjoyed different parts of it most. You traded stories of what you thought while you were eating dinner, then afterwards you pitched in to help clean up. You, along with Elizabeth and Cove, got to head back to the RV early and spend some time together while the parents stayed outside longer. Oh gosh, where is this conversation about to go? It was nice to have the space to yourselves after the cramped journey there, and while Elizabeth had locked herself in the back room with her headphones. Oh, it's just me and Cove. You and Cove were left in the main lounge area. You headed up to the loft to relax on your own. I'll hang out with Cove. Well, let's take a load off. We've got some time. Wow, he's wearing something different. You took a seat on the sofa while Cove sat down on the other end, tapping his finger against his knees. You know, I hardly ever see you wearing a jacket, especially in the summer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I like wearing as few layers as possible. It's easier that way. I'd rather be cold than extra hot, and it's kind of a pain to carry extra clothes around. My parents made me bring this jacket. I'm the same way. I don't mind either way. I love wearing layers. I love layers and accessories too. I like layers. There's something about a lot of layers that makes me feel all snug and comfortable. Cove smiled lightly at you and nodded. I've noticed. You changed the subject. You asked him what he liked to see others wear. I'll say that. So, what type of clothes or accessories do you like to see on somebody other than you? Cove's eyes widened at the question, and his defensive reply seemed to slip out before he'd had the chance to have a proper think about it. Nothing. Nothing? So you like seeing people naked? What the fuck? What's up? Hypnotics? Hypnotica. The pina colada is your new fave. Strawberry, peach, and raspberry smoothies are great. Huh. I feel like a raspberry smoothie would be really freaking good. I'm laughing at that because you said nothing. A snort of laughter escaped you, and even though Cove's face flushed red, you could see the hint of a smile on his lips, too. Come on, that's not what I meant. You composed yourself and sat up straighter, all traces of laughter disappearing from your face. Answer with what you do mean, then. Isn't there anything at all you think looks good when you see it on someone? Cove mumbled under his breath, and you couldn't quite catch the words. He was having a difficult time with the subject. It was a topic that made him uncomfortable, so you let it go. You had a little fun, and that was enough. You changed the subject. You're not very good at these conversations, are you? I swear I won't make fun of you. I just thought it would be fun to talk about. I'll just say that. That's not really it. Cove seemed pretty grumpy about your statement, but you weren't ready to give up so easily. Please? Cove sighed and looked down at his lap where he was fidgeting with his hands, still reluctant to give an answer.
I don't know.
Boy, why are you about to cry? Like, this is the kind of stuff that makes me not want to talk to him. He's always crying about shit. Okay, I'm not going to judge him. Maybe there's a reason he's acting like this. Let me give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's a reason he's getting emotional over a simple last question. I don't know. You made an unimpressed sound over how this was going. Are you sure? Fine. I guess I kind of like ankle bracelets. That's it? That's why you were crying? Oh my god. Okay. Ankle bracelets? Yeah, everyone can wear a pretty bracelet. Wrist ones are cool too, but they're pretty normal. There's something fun or flirty about ankle bracelets. I feel that.
I mean...
What? It's more special or something. I don't know how to explain it. Cove brushed his knuckles against his cheek awkwardly, seemingly unsure where to go from here. Thanks for... his face. Thanks for answering. I like them too. Huh, out of everything in the world, you picked that. So you think they're sexy? I kind of just want to be like, you know, thanks for answering, or I like them too, but I kind of want to like put him on the spot again. I'm gonna do it.
What?
No, I can't believe you'd even use that word to describe it. Look at his face. Cove had been absolutely scandalized by your statement, and you could only laugh. When he said nothing else, you took a moment to gather your own thoughts. You had to get an anklet on ASAP. Maybe you wear your anklets more now. Maybe you wouldn't wear your anklet so often. You thought about buying an anklet of your own. You were happy to hear more about Cove, but it didn't really change anything. I'm not saying the first one because it ain't that deep. I'm not gonna say I'm thinking of buying any because I feel like I already have anklets. I'm gonna just say the last one because I mean the way he acting is just like Cove's opinions hadn't had an impact on your own thoughts on the accessory. Cove looked away again, feeling awkward about this. You gave him an understanding look, and soon enough he was smiling like normal again. Well, now you have to answer too. What do you like for another person? We have to remember, guys, though. I have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Even though he looks like he's about 25, we're only like 13. We're 13. I don't know why he looks so old, but we're 13. So I can see why a 13-year-old would be like, oh my god, like freaking out. So, muscles, pretty hair, glasses, or blue eyes. Ooh, blue eyes is a little too specific. Glasses, that's a little too specific too. I'm gonna say muscles. Oh my god. Cove chuckled as though you had said something highly amusing. Good luck. I hope you find someone. With that, the topic abruptly dropped off. Cove officially had no more to say on it. The parents all arrived soon after, each of them climbing into... Thank you, Chase. Yay. This whole feature, though, is kind of... Oh, it says it. They updated it. Before it didn't say who got them.
Cryptico became a member.
Yay. Let's get some bow wows in the chat, guys. Let's get some bow wows in the chat.
Spirit became a member.
I want to see some bow wows in the chat for those gifted memberships. Is this what it's like when you're a Twitch streamer and people gift subscribers?
Hypnotics_ became a member.
Boy, you are not new. What's up, Shy? How you doing? Help me. Yay!
Tricops became a member.
I know who you are. Like, before you got me the first time. But now I know it's you, so. Help me, please. Oh my gosh, Ray Ray. Yay, you guys got memberships. Get some bow wows in the chat. Okay, let me continue with this because we're getting a little behind. We're still on the first little moment. Okay. The parents all arrived soon after, each of them climbing into the RV and finding some place to sit down and rest their legs. Elizabeth, having heard the commotion, came out from the room for the first time since arriving and joined you all. You spent the evening chatting and playing a few games, enjoying the last evening of the trip together. Bedtime arrived within the blink of an eye. As the group hunkered down for the night, your mom did a final round to be sure nothing had been left behind. She explained that Cliff was going to start driving early in the morning, like on the first day, but would be letting everyone else in the group sleep. There wouldn't be a need for all of them to get up. Now was the last time to check you hadn't left anything outside. You, as well as everyone else, were confident you had it all packed up inside the RV, which meant it was time to get some rest before the journey home tomorrow. Your moms and Elizabeth said goodnight, heading to the back room while you climbed up to the loft. Cove and his family got situated below in the previously set arrangement. You tried to get comfortable as a million thoughts were running through your mind. It was hard to believe that the trip was practically over, and before you knew it, you'd be back in your own bed at home. You enjoyed this mini adventure. You thought the trip had been okay. You felt the trip was a waste of time. You hadn't had a good time. I mean, it was cool. I feel like we didn't really talk that much, though. Like, I feel like they said we did, but we didn't really, like, have that many conversations, but it's fine. It was short, that was for sure, but you got to see and do so much during your time here. All in all, it was a nice break from home. Hi, Rose. Welcome back. No, not not COVID. Cove. That's one of the characters' names. Not COVID. Oh my gosh. All in all, it was a nice break away from home. The minutes ticked by silently. It didn't take long for the soft snores of Cliff and Kira to drift up to you. They were asleep now. You wondered if Cove was still awake and decided to poke your head out from the loft to find out. You blinked through the dark. Looking down the hall, you noticed Cove laying on his back, his eyes staring straight up at the ceiling. His seafoam hair was spread out on his sleeping bag. He must have felt you watching him, because suddenly his eyes locked on yours. It was difficult to see much in the dim light, but you could make out the crooked smile on his face well enough. You grinned back at him. You made a silly face. You waved at him. I'll grin at him. Cove shrugged in his bed while still smiling, or at least you thought he did. You then gestured for him to come over. You then went back to trying to sleep. You then decided to have fun quietly. Okay. You buried yourself under the blanket and pulled out your game console as silently as possible. While hidden away in your own little spot, you spent your not sure how... What? While hidden away in your own little spot... Okay, that's the typo. You're not sure how long getting some extra... You spent... What? Oh, that makes sense. You spent you're not sure how long getting some extra time to enjoy yourself. The way they worded that is kind of weird, though. You need a booty emote on YouTube. Oh my gosh. I don't know if YouTube would, like, approve that. I feel like they wouldn't, but I guess it depends on how it looks. Like how like explicit it looks. But at some point your eyes grew heavy and you gently drifted off into a deep sleep. When you woke up the next morning, it was to the rumble of the RV as it traveled the long journey home. Still blinking sleepily, you peeked over the edge of the loft to get a glimpse at what was happening. Cove was sitting with his mom on the couch, the two of them talking quietly. He must have noticed you moving around up there because Cove's ocean blue eyes snapped to yours and he gave you a smile. Morning, Rain. Good morning, Cove. Soon your moms and Elizabeth emerged from their room, dressed and ready for the day of travel. You spent most of the day hanging out together in the RV, savoring the last few hours of vacation. Kira suggested a few different travel games she used to play with Cove when he was younger, and you all had a great time competing against each other. When the RV finally pulled onto your street, it was well into the night, and you were looking forward to crawling into your own bed after the last few days away. Everyone else must have been feeling the same because it was mutually agreed that unpacking and cleaning the RV would wait until morning. Once home again, you went straight up to your room and dropped onto your bed, shoes and all. You were happy to be in your own bed. It felt weird to be alone. It felt good to be alone. You wish you were still on a trip. You miss being near Cove. I'm happy to be in my bed. You stretched out with a smile on your face, enjoying having all the space to yourself. With those last few thoughts drifting through your mind, it wasn't long before you dozed off to sleep. Tomorrow, life would go on like normal. I wish we talked more during that trip. I feel like we didn't talk that much. Disguise it as a peach. Probably still not subtle enough. Oh, that's good. I feel like YouTube would know, though. I feel like they'd know. But I don't know. I mean, you just really have to submit the well, they're called emojis on here, but emote, and get it approved. But I just wouldn't want to pay for that to not be able to use it. That's the only annoying part. I wonder... Hold on, let me see something. I might actually be able to get a new emote now that we probably unlocked a new emote slot. Let me see. Let me see here. Let's see if we got a new emote slot. Let us find out. Let us see here. Oh wow, we have 2 new slots for badges. Because we have a new member badge, a 1-month badge, a 2-month badge, 6-month, 12-month, and 24-month. Now we have a 36-month and a 48-month one. Holy shit, Taki mushrooms. Let's see. We do. We have another emote slot, guys. We got another slot. Gonna have to get an emote made. Gotta hit up my person that makes some emotes. Inviting Cove up into the loft would have involved much more dialogue. See, I wanted them to talk. I didn't know that it was just gonna make me play my portable handheld game. So yeah. What's your budget? No, it's okay. I have somebody. I mean, the emotes, they really don't cost that much, but still. I have the same person make them because I want them to all like have the same kind of look. Okay, let's do the mall now, guys. Let's see what this is all about. Ooh, okay. Oh, Lee is here. Okay, Lee's visit today turned out to be more involved than you expected. After overhearing where the Holden family was going, Lee insisted on seeing Mr. Holden's shop firsthand. This is Cliff's dad's shop? This is so cool. An hour later, and Lee was busy looking at every item on display. Because Cove's dad offered supplies, lessons, and tours, his shop had all the scuba-related stuff you could imagine. Fins, masks, suits, and snorkels. After circling around the shop, you finally stopped and looked at the whole room. This was the first time you'd been here too. It wasn't often that you tagged along to hang out at the shop. You spent a lot of time here over the years. This is my first time, shit. The mystery was finally gone. Over the years, you'd heard bits and pieces about what Cove's dad did from Cove, Derek, and Mr. Holden, because Derek's dad does business with Cove's dad. And now, here you were, standing smack dab in the middle of it. You were bursting with excitement. You were in good spirits. This was a pleasant surprise. You felt okay. Not your choice, but not bad. Or not your first choice, but not bad. You were unhappy. Was this really all you were going to do? Oh, that's a shitty-ass attitude to have. This is cool. Like, Mr. Holden had been running it for a long time by now. This shop meant a lot to Cove and his dad. It felt cool to see it. Lee was still busy poking through the various wetsuits displayed, so you decided to see what Derek and Cove were doing. Oh, Derek is here. Okay, so we'll get to see more of him tonight. Cool. You can make stick figures. Oh my gosh. Shy. They were too absorbed in their conversation to notice you standing near them, leaning against the counter. You were able to pick up the topic quickly.
Anyway,
my dad told me the new stuff is selling like crazy. Yeah, the material has this new blend with less neoprene. My dad says people are really interested in it. It brought a smile to your face hearing that the shop was doing well. You decided to keep listening. You decided to join in. You couldn't resist teasing the boys. Let me join in. Those wetsuits with the bright colors are probably popular too. I haven't seen many with that style in other places.
right?
I like those.
Maybe.
Some of them might be too bright. I don't think the point of scuba diving is drawing a lot of attention to yourself. Maybe people will just wear them on the beach. Standing out would help there. Your family could always spot you. Cove smiled at Derek's positivity. But really, there's just so much to think about with the business. It's crazy. No matter how much I come, I still don't think I get it. Cove hummed and nodded in agreement, causing a good-humored laugh from Derek. See, he looks like he's like 13. Him? I thought you only liked the scuba diving part, not the job part. That's just the best part. I think about other things too.
I gotcha.
Cool. The business side, running it, that's my favorite. Out of the corner of your eye, you caught movement and you realized that Lee was now standing next to you. When your dad's retired, do you think you're gonna carry on the store? Both sons shrugged in unison.
Well,
There's tons of things I could do. My dad thinks so too. He doesn't want me to plan on working here forever. Cove's gaze fell to the floor. You could see the conflict flashing across his face.
I don't know.
It's a lot. Being the real boss of something and totally in charge. If my moms had their own business, I'd take it over. If my mom's had one, I wouldn't want to take over either. I can't run a business. I wouldn't want to take over someone else's shop either. I want to do my own thing. Then do you think your dads will let me take over this shop? No matter what you do, shop or no shop, you'll be amazing. I'll say that. Derek smiled in equal parts happiness and bashfulness. He bounced on his feet a bit. Thanks, Rain. I'm happy you believe in us. Me too. Cove's parents left the back office and came over, catching your attention. Sorry, kids. It looks like it's going to be a long one. I know usually others hold the fort down, but I really need to stay here today. I know you just wanted a little visit. It'd be boring getting stuck all day because of me. Kira can take my car and go back to the neighborhood. Cove and Derek gave him an understanding look. Mr. Holden crossed his arms and flashed you all a big smile, trying to lift the mood. Derek, a baby. What's up, Paul? How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Cove shop look clean. It's his dad's shop. Oh, God. The one condition is that someone has to remember to come back for me later. You don't get to strand me here, no matter how funny that might be. Kira laughed and gave a thumbs up. Mr. Holden seemed satisfied with that. He moved on with the explanation. What's up, soldier? Welcome on in. Big baller gang. Oh my gosh. Shy, it's okay. I know who Paul is. It's a meme. It's a meme with Scooby-Doo. And you know how he says everything with an R? Yeah. That is a meme that we joke about. Derek, your dad also has his hands full today, so he doesn't have time to run you back home.
it's okay.
That's all right, sir. The title sir got an awkward chuckle out of Cliff, which was cut short when Kira elbowed him teasingly. You already said I could borrow your car. Why don't I take all the kids somewhere fun for the afternoon?
Absolutely.
That's fine with me. Just please come back eventually. Sometime today, Kira. After multiple jokes about being left with no ride, you had to wonder if that actually happened in their past together. For you, my good sir, I swear, cross my heart. Happy with the promise, Cliff took out his black wallet and offered a $50 bill to Kira. Here, in case you need gas or anything else while you're out. I feel like they're gonna get back together because they keep like flirting and stuff. It's not really a dating sim. I wouldn't say it's a dating sim. Because like basically I'm this character, I'm growing up with like this dude. I can date him if I want to and like get feelings for him, but I don't have to. Like the story isn't like based solely on that. Because there's a bunch of other characters too. So yeah, it really depends on how you play. Not you having a crush on Kira. She's really pretty though. Her character is pretty. Kira smiled knowingly and accepted the bill without hesitation. Cove's dad stuck the wallet into his back pocket while he waved with the free hand. Okay, time for me to jump back into work. Have fun for me. Bye, Dad. Bye. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Bye, Mr. Holden. Goodbye, sirs and madams. He left the room with a wink and flare, disappearing into the employees-only area of the shop. When Mr. Holden was out of sight, Kira silently strolled over to the counter and carefully placed the $50 bill there. She turned back around and beamed a large smile at you and the others. Come on, gang. Let's see if this town has them all. Oh, she gave the money back. She said, I don't need your money, sir. I know. I saw that last time, Goth Cat. I saw that last time. Green hair girl is hot for real. Not you guys all having a crush on Cove's mom. Okay, let's see if this town has a mall. Yeah. Is this not the mall? I thought we were in the mall. So now we're going to the mall. Okay. I thought this was in the mall. I guess this is just a standalone shop. Unable to contain her excitement, Lee actually jumped with joy. All the parents in this game are better looking than they need to be. Yeah, all the parents really do look good. I haven't seen one ugly parent yet. Unable to contain her excitement, Lee actually jumped with joy, while Cove and Derek just grinned. There wasn't a mall in your hometown, but Mr. Holden's store wasn't in Sunset Bird. It might be possible to find a mall out here. Oh, his store isn't even in our town. I'm cool with it. Heck yeah, let's go. She quickly herded the group out of the store into the car.
Cove.
As the driver, I get to choose my partner in crime. Naturally, I bestow the position of shotgun to my baby. Her comment had both Derek and Lee snickering. Cove was for sure embarrassed over the phrasing and blatant favoritism, but he took the seat by his mom without complaint. You decide to stick up for Cove. What am I gonna say? Don't call him that, bitch. Like, what? You decided to jokingly complain at the special treatment. You were fine with that. You kept quiet. I'm cool with it. I don't really care. You got shotgun in your own car lot. It made sense that he got priority here. I'll take the middle seat. Really?
Yeah.
I don't want a window seat. You two can have them. Are you cool with that? You thought it was odd that anyone would give up a window seat, but you knew Derek tried to be especially polite when he was a guest. You nodded.
Fantastic.
Good. Sounds like we're all in agreement. Everyone squeezed into the car, buckling in, and Kira turned the radio on. She set it to a top 40s pop station. She looks like that's what she would probably listen to. I'm here for it. Quickly, you recognized the song playing. It was a new one by an artist you were listening to a lot recently. It wasn't long until your group realized that they were lost, but after driving in enough circles, Kira's struggle paid off when she found a local mall. There were more cheers from Lee as Kira pulled into a parking spot. Once your group had made it inside, the first order of business on this trip was checking what this mall actually had. Where should we go?
Ooh.
I think I see a makeup store ahead. She rolled up on her tiptoes to get a better view. Meanwhile, Derek was eyeing the directory. There's a chocolate shop. Seriously, we have to go there. Yes, wait. And we need to find a decent jewelry shop. I need new hair ties and barrettes.
Nice.
we've also got to at least look for a game store. There's tons of things you can't get anywhere but a store that's just for video games. I'm going with Derek. If we were going somewhere, I would be, peace out, Lee. I'm going with Derek to the game store. She can buy me. Oh my god. Y'all got me spilling my water. Oh my gosh. She playing that new Bruno Mars. Yeah, they are young. I can tell. Because when the game first started, Cliff, Cove's dad, he looked like he was like 19. Maybe even 18. There's tons of things. Okay. Hey, what are you thinking, Cove? I want to look at the fish in the pet store. You could have guessed that much. Anywhere else? He smiled with some bashfulness. Can we go to a camping and outdoor supply shop?
So...
What about you, Rain? A clothing store and accessory shop, the makeup store, a video game store, the chocolate shop, the pet store, a camping and outdoor supply shop, the food court, a bookstore, an art supply store, a music shop. Alright, where do you guys think I would choose other than the video game store? Where do you guys think I would choose? I'm just curious to see what you guys would say. Cole's about to be looking the same age as his parents in a second. True. True. What store do you guys think I would choose other than a video game store? Wow. Supreme. You know me so well. I would choose a bookstore. Last time I was in the mall, I was like, guys, we have to go to Barnes & Noble, please. Yeah, video game store, a bookstore, the pet store. I'm so new, I don't know. That's fair, Rose. I would definitely choose a video game store, pet store, bookstore. Oh, the food court, because we got to get some food while we're here, of course. Maybe check out some... Do I even have money? I feel like if I had money, I probably would go to a clothing store. But if I'm just like tagging along and I don't got no money, I probably wouldn't go there. I'd want to window shop in like the video game store, the bookstore, stuff like that. So that's pretty much it for me. That's certainly a list. Good thing we have all afternoon. Yeah. This girl. Oh my gosh. I have my own stops I want to make. Let's agree to regroup here at 7 p.m.
What?
You're not coming with us? We're all in the same building. You won't be as alone as you think. I'll only be a few minutes away at most. You're old enough to enjoy the mall without me hovering. Damn, that's cool. But at the same time, it's like, girl, what if we get snatched up? I see why Cove's dad has full custody over him. You're irresponsible. No, I'm just kidding. I'm hitting the food court before anything. That's real. I'd hit the food court too. I don't blame you guys. That food be smelling good. Okay.
See you soon.
Be back here at 7 p.m. Toodaloo. Leaving Derek and Lee stunned by their newfound freedom, Kira walked off. When she was almost out of sight, Derek's face twisted in confusion. Wow, she's really gone. I can't believe she just did that. This is so cool. We get to do whatever we want. He upset. She don't give a damn. You were happy about it. Talk about an amazing opportunity. You felt unsure about the situation. Was this really okay? You felt okay about it. You were unhappy about it. This was not what you'd had in mind. I'm cool with it. It really is exciting. With the decision already made, Derek tried to pull together his earlier enthusiasm for the trip.
So,
where are we going first? Time's a-wasting. Whatever's closest. Things were coming together, but you realized there might be a flaw in today's sudden plans. What's wrong, Rain? Did everybody bring money with them?
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I did. I always have some on me when I come all the way out here. Not me being the broke bitch of the group. Hello? You had money too. You left all your... Oh, I can choose. Okay. You left all your money at home. The original plan was only visiting Mr. Holden's store. You didn't have any money at all since you always ended up spending it when you got it. Oh, I kind of want to say this. I want to see who's going to come through for me and be like, you know what? I got you. making a beeline to the arcade. Yo, I think I want to, I feel like it would be easier, obviously, to just say that I have money. But if I say I left it at home, who's going to have my back? I'm saying this. No, I didn't think I need it. Derek looked at you sympathetically.
I get it.
I can lend you some if you need it. Cove smiled at you reassuringly.
It's okay.
You know I don't mind getting you anything if you want it. Yeah, don't worry. I can get your tab. You can pay me back later. No, I'm going to get one of them to pay for my stuff because they didn't say anything about paying them back. So, you can keep your money, Lee. How about that? You accepted their offers readily. You let them know if you really needed it. You rejected the offer right up front. No, y'all said y'all got me, so thank you. We're here to have fun, not worry about anything. How often do we get to go to the mall together? Never, basically. It's special.
Right.
Don't feel bad about it. Now that everything was squared away, you explored the mall together as a group. There are many shops that you managed to venture into so far. You all even went into a video game store, leaving you with a pep in your step. This was better than you thought, and there was still so much to see. After having hit many of the top priority stores, you found yourself passing by a small booth. It was decorated in wind chimes of various sizes. You raised a hand up to one of the smaller ones. What sparked your attention next was Cove. You thought for sure he was going to stop at the booth by the way he looked at it, but he kept going. Do you want one? It wasn't until Lee asked that you realized you had stepped in front of the booth without saying anything. Lee just continued to encourage you. You should get one. I'm just looking. I don't really like them. You wanted one, but for someone else, you did want one. I'm just looking, girl. It's nice to check stuff out. Lee hummed in agreement and then stared past the booth. Following her gaze, you saw that the boys were already wandering too far ahead. Let's go. After leaving another clothing store, one that Lee couldn't resist exploring, you and your friends found yourselves walking down the main hall of the mall again. It wasn't long until everyone you were with had their eye on the smoothie kiosk ahead. Ha ha ha, interesting. Should we stop? Yeah, maybe this will give me some ideas for what smoothies I can make in real life. As you approached, your eye was drawn to the dizzying list of smoothie combinations. A part of you wondered how long it would take to try them all. Hi there, do you need the rundown of how this works? I mean, yes please. Okay, first off, you pick up to 3 options of fruit or berries. Then I'll add the ice and the store special smoothie base mix. And then you'll have your very own smoothie for $4. There's only one size. Fair enough. Cove leaned over the counter a bit. For several moments, he intently studied the plentiful fruit and berry options. I want to get a strawberry banana smoothie with coconut too. Sounds good. Is anyone else getting something? Can I get one that's just all mango? Of course. Thanks. I like strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries for mine. Thanks. The shopkeeper looked at you now. I want one. Could I get... Okay, we have banana, coconut, pineapple, mango, kiwi, peach, raspberry, strawberry, blueberry, apple, and orange. Ooh. I feel like something with like blueberry and raspberry would actually be really good. At that, everyone started fishing their money out of their pockets. Someone is gonna pay for mine, right? Uh-huh, I can get your smoothie, Rain. No, I don't want you to get my shit. I can do that too. I said it first, you have to be faster than that. Cove didn't seem to appreciate her joking tone and took it almost as a challenge. Then how much money did you bring? If it's less than what I have, I should be the one who pays.
What?
Way to be a sore loser. Thank you. You, Lee, and Cove turned your heads to see Derek standing in front of the register. He bypassed everyone and paid for the entire order with a 20 and smile on his face. The remaining change went into the tip jar. Oh, he's big baller over here. He paid for everybody's stuff and said, keep the change. Okay, Derek. He noticed the audience he now had and cocked an eyebrow. What? Look at this boy. He's sitting there talking about what? Like he doesn't know what he just did. I could have paid. Thanks. This is why I always have money on me to take care of things. Oh, excuse me, Derek. Excuse us. Big money grips. Oh my gosh. Okay, I said thank you. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Look at him. Big baller over here. You waited over at the other side of the booth where the drinks were put when they were done. Derek bounced on his feet, excited for his to be ready.
Aw.
This is gonna be good. Lee chimed in with her own enthusiasm. Everybody says their smoothie-based stuff can make any drink great. Cove, while quieter, looked just as Cove, while quieter, looked just as eager for his smoothie. Luckily, there hadn't been anyone else before you, so it wasn't a long wait. Your group collected the fresh drinks as they were placed on the counter. Straws were placed through the opening at the top of the cup, and the first tentative sips were had. Derek sighed in satisfaction after his taste. Mango is too delicious. Mine is super good too. Cove nodded and hummed in agreement. His straw was still in his mouth. You were really happy with yours. You were regretting your choice. You thought it was only okay. You thought it wasn't as great as you expected when you picked. I'm cool with it. This is perfect. Cool. We all made excellent choices today. Yeah. You asked if you could try Lee's smoothie. I don't want none of y'all smoothies. Hold up. Sneakily, you wanted to steal a sip of someone else. Sneakily? Hello? I'm cool. I don't want anybody else's stuff. As your group continued to wander the mall, you came to an area in the path that was wider. In the center of the opening was a collection of quarter-operated ride-on machines. Derek stopped as soon as he saw them, smiling ear to ear. I want to ride? I think we might be too big. Right, like...
No way!
We're not that old yet. He eagerly headed over to the machines, wanting to get a better look. Lee went along with it, smiling. Cove is too big for it. He's probably fine. To be honest. You thought his idea was childish. You wanted to ride too. You didn't care one way or another. You stayed quiet about it. Is he in ballas? He does look like a baller. Not you being broke. Shut up, Shy. I don't know how I feel about it. I kind of feel like, I mean, he's probably fine. I mean, we're like 13 though. Like, we're kind of too big for this, but I'm just gonna stay quiet about it. Silently, you decided to wait and see how the scene unfolded in front of you. Reconvening around Derek, you watched as he was focused on the various brightly colored rides. Most were designed to look like real vehicles, but there were also some horse-shaped ones. One of them could even seat 2 people. I call the helicopter. Why?
Cool.
It's the coolest, and I think it'll move the most. He started digging in his pockets, pulling out whatever money he had left. Bruh, if he's broke, I'm about to laugh. Wait, is everything okay? I need 4 quarters, right? Yeah. I only have 2. Not him being broke now. What the fuck? Oh my god. You were delayed. How were you delayed? Maybe you, I think if it says on the video, like if you tap it, I think it says live if you're like caught up. It should say live on it. There has to be more between all of us. Hold on. Pockets, wallets, and purses were checked. Derek still had 2. Cove only had 1. Lee ended up with the most at 3. You didn't have any.
Don't worry about it.
You can have mine. I feel like Cove talks like this a little bit. Should I start doing that voice for him? Thanks, but you don't have to. It's not enough for me, and even if it was, it'd be dumb to ride while you had to watch. I mean, I'm not getting on it. But Cove shrugged. He had tried, failed, and looked unsure of what to do next. Why don't we all get on one ride? Couldn't we exchange dollar bills for more quarters at the store? You didn't offer up a suggestion. I mean, I'm not saying nothing because it's not that deep. If we're not riding, can we get some candy instead? She giddily pointed to a collection of shiny gumball machines off to the side of where you all were. That's a great idea. Yeah. You just got smoothies and we already went to a candy store. There's always an option that's just like the party pooper of the group. That's not me. I need a gumball. I could use gum. And so the 4 of you sped on over to the candy dispensers. After a few twists of the knob, the group collected its loot. Lee immediately popped hers into her mouth. Her smile fell as she watched Cove stash his gumball away in his pocket. What? It's gonna get all gross in your pants. She wrinkled her nose in disapproval. Cove shrugged.
I know.
Then it does, but I think I'll be fine. I want it for later. Lee shook her head and then turned her attention to Derek. They quickly started competing on who could blow the biggest bubbles. Their serious battle had you and Cove cracking grins in no time. It didn't even matter that none of you got to ride the quarter-operated machines anymore. I mean, I wasn't gonna ride that anyways. Not you putting harmony in Cove. That's how, when his voice is played in the game, like his voice actor or whatever, that's how he sounds. Yum pocket lint, right. Then you notice something out of the corner of your eye. You tilted your head to look directly at it and you burst into laughter. What's funny? You turned back to the group and nodded in the direction of where you were looking. Isn't that one of those machines that takes dollars and gives quarters back? The kind that exists for people who don't have quarters on hand? Everyone's heads moved that way and saw that you were right. Derek chuckled awkwardly. That's exactly what that is. We're kind of dumb. We have to be to miss that this whole time. Come on, let's just put this behind us. There's still places open. We haven't even been everywhere yet. Here, here. You moved along from one stop towards the next, still jovial from the experience. Shortly into your walk, Lee ran over to a nearby trash can and tossed her smoothie cup. Derek went over after and threw his cup away. You followed suit and got rid of your empty cup too. Cove was the last to throw his cup away. He took one final sip, making sure he got every last drop. The clock inched closer to 7, and you all made your way back to the directory. It was hard to believe how fast the day went by.
So...
Where do you think your mom ended up today? We didn't see her anywhere. I don't know. She's just like that. Ooh, it's a mystery. Despite having vanished for the entire trip so far, when 7 p.m. hit, you spotted Kira coming right over, waving cheerily. As soon as she was close enough, she pinched Cove's cheek.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, baby and friends. Hi, Mom. He pushed her hand back with one hand and rubbed his cheek with the other. Did you have a good day, gang? Yeah. Today was awesome. We did so much.
Not bad.
It was fun. You really enjoyed your day. You thought there were days it could have been worse. You didn't enjoy the outing. I enjoyed my day. There was no hiding your joy. Like the others, you were smiling ear to ear because today went so much better than you expected. I'm glad we came here.
That I do.
I want to hear all about it during the ride back. She clapped her hands together once, making sure she had everyone's undivided attention. Speaking of that, we better head out. Cliff must be missing us, and you've got to be starving. It's dinner time, and you haven't eaten yet. Yeah. Everyone followed her lead and started walking out the door to the parking lot. Something about what Kira said felt off to you. There were tons of places to eat. It's a mall. You could have had dinner. You wondered if it was just a good guess, but you could feel your eyebrows raise when it dawned on you. She might have been keeping an eye on you after all. You weren't pleased about that. She didn't have to lie. That was actually pretty slick. You weren't sure about that. It seemed kind of sketchy. It's pretty slick. If she hadn't made that comment, you never would have known. You found it hard not to be impressed. Not once could you recall even catching a glimpse of her hanging around, though now that you think about it, not seeing her ever was suspicious in and of itself. Shaking off those thoughts, you caught up with the others. Keeping the same seating arrangements as earlier, you all piled into the car and started heading back to the store. The drive went by without any problems as it was filled with chatter about the various things everyone saw around the mall. Soon enough, you'd arrived at your destination. It was a much faster trip considering this time Kira knew where she was going. Hearing the light jingle of bells from the front door being opened, Cliff poked his head out from the back. He lit up at seeing who was here. Hey, sport, did everyone have an adventure? Hi, Dad. We had a blast. Yes. We found the mall.
Aw.
The mall? Wish I could have joined. He deflated in an exaggerated way. His shoulders sloped. Kara put a hand on his arm and smiled.
Anywho's
There will be other times. Are you set here? Almost. Mr. Holden sighed for real. He then pulled himself together, standing up
Do
straight.
you mind?
I need just a little more time to finish up. Will you be alright killing time for a bit longer? It's okay. Yes, sir. No problem, Mr. Holden. We can have fun here. Excellent. What a great group of kids. He gave an approving thumbs up and Kira nodded along. I'll give you a hand. I remember the ropes. Why, thank you. They walked side by side to the back room. Before he was out of sight, Cliff stopped and looked over his shoulder. If you leave the shop, don't go far. It's getting late. And then the parents were gone again. Let's go to the docks. They're right down the way. Yeah. Oh, I saw those on the way here and really wanted to check it out. Are you coming, Rain? Alright. With a smile, Cove showed the way. Between the warm summer air and the smell of the ocean, you couldn't ask for a better night. Thanks for letting me come. Me too.
Right?
Right? I'm so happy we did this. Today was great. Cove, your mom and dad are really cool. Really? Totally. Cove looked at Lee oddly. He ran a hand through his hair and then his puzzled expression cracked with a chuckle. I guess sometimes they are. You continued walking. Every so often you would look up at the sky and see several stars poking out between the clouds. At one point you noticed that Cove stopped while Lee and Derek kept going on ahead, busily chatting. Initially you wondered if something was wrong, but you quickly noticed that he still looked to be in good spirits. You decided to hang back with Cove. He gave you a quick acknowledging look when you stopped at his side. You could taste the sea salt as you took a deep breath of the ocean air. Silently, you and Cove watched the ocean for a little while. There was something about the waves that you always found soothing. You couldn't think of a better way to end a busy day. Hey, Rain? He peeked at you out of the sides of his eyes with a bent grin. Want a gumball? You just had to laugh. He joined in. Not much time later, Derek's chipper voice caught your attention. You and Cove both turned your gaze down the pier. Pocket lint hit when you broke. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Almost as good as college student ramen. I thought your mouse was a gnat on my screen. Oh my gosh. You're a mess. I hit my phone hard as hell. Oh my gosh. You are a freaking mess. Shy, are you excited for tomorrow? You excited for the city to open back up? Let's see. What are you doing there, slowpokes? Get over here.
Hey!
Hey! Come on! You looked at Cove the same time he looked at you. You grinned and nodded your head in the direction of your friends. He gave you a small smile in return. Your footsteps echoed against the wooden planks of the dock and into the night as you ran to catch up. Oh, it ended fairly abruptly. That was quite the abrupt ending. All right, whose birthday is it? We might not. It's already 10:40, guys. I don't think we're gonna be able to finish all these like I thought because each one is like 30 minutes, give or take. So, let's just keep going in order. Let's see whose birthday it is. Oh, okay. It was a pleasant afternoon. The sun shone brightly and the breeze tugged lightly at the balloon strung around the park. You and Cove had just been dropped off at Miranda Eckert's birthday party. Who the fuck is Miranda Eckert? Hello? You didn't really know Miranda. Last year was the first time you had a class with her, and everyone at school knew her as quiet. The shy girl stuck to her own friend group like glue. It had been a surprise that she was having such a big party. You looked around the expansive park, a spacious recreation center in the next town over, and noticed a bouncy castle. Miranda had a bit of a reputation for not caring if she acted mature like other teens sometimes did. It made a certain amount of sense that her party would match that. You thought Miranda was sweet. You thought she was weird. You didn't have an opinion of her. You wanted to get to know her better. I mean, I don't have an opinion of her because I don't really know who she is. I don't know much about her. Miranda was a stranger for the most part. What were you supposed to think of a person you didn't know? You hadn't had a choice in coming here today. Your moms insisted on it after you got the invitation, as did Cove's mom and dad. So both you and he were driven over to the next town with presents in tow. All the parents had been pretty firm about going to the birthday if you've been invited. I mean, why we gotta go here if we just because we're invited? I don't know this bitch. I don't know anything about her. They finna be mad. I'm gonna tell them I gotta be off by 5. You gotta be off by 5 p.m.? Why? Why do you have to be off so early? You're not gonna be at Bahama Mamas? Why do you have to be off by 5? Or are you talking about work? You're gonna tell your job you have to be off by 5? I feel that though. You agreed it was best to attend. You wondered if it was an adult thing. You were happy to be here. You wished you were somewhere else. You felt out of place. You were willing to give it a chance. You're gonna be in Venus City popping ass. Well then. Well then. Not you hating your job. I mean, I feel you on that. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. Dang, they made you invite every classmate. I'm trying to figure out how I feel about this. I kind of want to say I wondered if it was an adult thing. I kind of want to say I feel out of place, and then I kind of want to say I'm willing to give it a chance. I feel out of place because I don't really know this girl. So, it feels weird being at somebody's birthday party that I don't really know. Nothing seemed to welcome you. You stood next to Cove and stared out at the chaos with a butterfly in your stomach. Cove made a small noise which caught your attention. He looked around, scanning the area. He fidgeted with his gift in his hand. Any idea what we're supposed to do with these? Exactly, Rose. Exactly. You looked at your own present and then towards the seating area. There was a table filled with snacks and drinks, supplies for various party games. Okay. Past all that, you spotted one table in the back that seemed to have a truckload of gifts. You pointed it out to Cove. I see presents. Let's go. Cove nodded with a smile and turned to where you gestured. He saw it too. Cool. You and Cove began to walk over to the present table, flattening the well-trimmed grass beneath your feet. You walked past groups of people, classmates in semicircles, broken up into the usual friend groups, chatted away. You or maybe Cove received the occasional greeting or friendly nod. However, as you passed by even more people that you had never seen before, you became aware there were more strangers here than not. It was more crowded than you expected. Miranda Eckert, the choir girl, was hosting the most populated birthday party you had been to in a long time. You looked at the new faces and thought you saw something of Miranda in them. Cousins, nieces, or nephews, maybe? Parties could be a big deal in her family. The both of you reached the table. You set your gift down in an empty space, brushing some confetti aside, and Cove placed his gently next to it. He looked at the present thoughtfully. Hey, what did you get her? Before you had a chance to answer, Cove opened his mouth again and tapped his gift. I found this sparkly backpack. I figured she could use it for school or a trip or something. Your moms had taken you out shopping the other day. You searched through the store and ultimately, you picked out a stuffed animal, you grabbed a necklace and bracelet set, you had found a lighthearted adventure book, you chose a yarn craft kit that made a toy, you let your moms pick, your moms didn't appreciate what you had picked and chose something else. I let my moms pick. I don't know what to get her ass. You didn't know Miranda enough to even have an idea of what she would like. Browsing through the stores just led to more confusion. In the end, since you hadn't found anything, your moms pulled a stuffed animal off the shelf. You were happy because it meant you could finally go back home. Hopefully Miranda was fine with the mom present. You described it to Cove briefly and he had no objections.
Not bad.
He brushed his hands against the sides of his pants. I really hope Miranda likes her gifts, but I think we both did good. With that, he gave you a sunny grin. You touched the gift one more time and then stepped away. Without the direction of needing to put stuff away, the two of you weren't sure on what to do next. You felt a little awkward and Cove shrunk in on himself as he looked around. There were more guests heading to the present table. So you turned away and wandered over to a nearby tree where you wouldn't be in the way. From there, you both inspected the area and planned the next step. You were glad that Cove had been invited too. At least you had his company in this unfamiliar place. You watched him and he gave you a nervous grin. It reassured you a little and you smiled back. What next? Cove did not appreciate being put on the spot. He was just as unsure as you were. Birthday party stuff? It didn't seem to be time for cake, what with people still arriving. Nothing else seemed to be organizing yet either. He noticed that himself and tried again. We could find Miranda. That was an idea. It made sense to greet the birthday girl. Okay, we could say hello. Wish her a happy birthday. Ask her what she wants people to do.
Sounds good.
With that point, it was decided. The Miranda hunt had begun. You wandered around. Anytime you saw someone with Miranda's hair color, you got a little closer, but more than once it turned out not to actually be her. Hey, look! Finally, he pointed over to the real Miranda. She smiled slightly when you both approached, but ducked her head. She seemed a little overwhelmed with being the center of attention today. Damn, she looks shy as hell. Hi, Cove. Hi, Rain. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thanks. I'm really glad you could come.
Aww, she's adorable. Look at her eyes. They're purple. You all stood awkwardly. Miranda did seem genuinely happy, but there was still a distance between you. This is a great-looking party. Thank you. Is there something we need to do, or should we just hang out?
Well, you can talk to people if you want. There are games that are gonna start soon.
Oh, she talk a lot. She don't seem too shy. She talk more than anybody else in the game. And the bounce house should open later if you feel like jumping. Then after that is cake and present time. We'll have ice cream too. After that is when people will start going home. I hope that's okay with you guys. Cove nodded. He seemed a little more confident about the situation now. That's a plan, thanks. You gave Miranda a thumbs up and she smiled in return. She seemed slightly less uncomfortable. Miranda waited there and you became hyper aware of the silence forming. You heard a shout for Randy and Miranda brightened up a total 180 with how stiff she had been with you.
I gotta talk to some more people. Bye.
Damn, okay. Shit. The birthday girl ran off to her friend, leaving you and Cove with at least a little more idea of what to expect. You both glanced at each other wordlessly. All that was left now was finding something to fill the time until the activities began. You tried to chat with the people around, you just talked with Cove, you found a quiet spot to sit, you just stood around where you were. Or talk with him. You started talking about how you felt about this kind of birthday party and what you wanted to do for your next party. Cove made the occasional suggestion. The conversation became silly as you started joking about ridiculous party ideas. Cove wanted a moon party, and you wondered if anyone ever had tried to make a cake big enough to be the party location. Suddenly, a loud voice boomed over the crowd. The constant buzz of conversation dropped as one of the adults, maybe Miranda's dad, asked the kids to gather around because it was game time.
Huh.
I wonder what's gonna happen. You shrugged, you scanned the area to make a guess, you made a joke about something that wasn't going to happen. We're gonna play high-stakes poker, it's obvious. Obvious, huh? Look at this crowd. Most of the guests were teenagers around your age, but there were also quite a few adults and some younger kids. Cove nodded sagely at the group of little kids. Yeah, these are the high rollers. Just like you and the rest of your family. He smirked at that one. The adult announced that the children under 10 had the first turn on the bounce house. For everyone else, it was time to play pin the tail on the donkey. Cove raised his eyebrows. He was surprised for sure. You were excited. You thought it was kind of silly. You were a little weirded out. You were fine with the game. You didn't know how this would go. It's kind of silly a little bit. It was such a kid's game. The fact that this was planned for a party full of teens was a little crazy. You reluctantly joined the line since that was what you were supposed to do, and you didn't feel like arguing. The donkey in question was a cartoony poster with big eyes that looked more like ping pong balls. It was positioned a few feet above the ground on a tree trunk. The teen who arrived first was blindfolded and then spun around. He was nudged to the sign and away from the other kids so he wouldn't stick someone with the tail instead. Unfortunately for him, he placed the tail on the donkey's head like some kind of bizarre earring. He wouldn't be winning that far from the target. His next opponent did far better by landing it on the donkey's back. The spectators clapped politely and the line moved up. More teens tried their hand at it. Some got closer than others, but no one had gotten it perfect yet. Soon it was Cove's turn. He was blindfolded and spun just like the others. At this point, it was a close match, and everyone was watching with bated breath. Cove approached the donkey and stuck the tail on without any hesitation. Cove stood back and removed his blindfold, cheering when he saw how close he was. He turned his head over his shoulder and grinned at you. Your turn. You shook your head and stepped out of line. I'll take my turn. With the blindfold on, the bright park became utterly dark. As you were spun around, the sounds around you seemed to get louder. At least you could tell the direction of the bounce house from the shrieks of the younger children. You stopped spinning and stepped forward, tail in hand. It was time to give it a stab. You placed it directly in front of you. You placed it to the right. You placed it to the left. You reached and placed it up. You bent and placed it downward. Directly in front of me? You pressed the tail into the target and stepped back. You took your blindfold off to check your results. There's a few oohs from the crowd and some irregular clapping. As soon as you could see clearly again, you realized you missed the mark by a lot. You caught a glimpse of Cove as you handed back the blindfold. He was pleased, no doubt feeling good that his tail was closer. A few more kids took their turn. One girl managed to somehow pin the tail on the opposite side of the tree. What the fuck? You were pretty sure it had to be on purpose. With the line empty, the game was finally over. The adults running things started to inspect the donkey. At this point, the sign was more tails than donkey. In the end, someone you didn't know was announced as the winner. You and Cove both exchanged a look even as you clapped politely. Huh. He sighed. He looked back at the board. I was so close too. You were also disappointed it was a good game. You shrugged it off. You teased him. Shrug it off. It's not a big deal. It was just a party game after all. He watched the winner and considered whether to say anything to them. He hesitated, however, and ended up not approaching the teen. An older teen walked up, tall enough to tower over you and Cove. You felt a little intimidated by the stern-faced teenager until she started to speak. Her voice was low but friendlier than her tough frown would suggest. Hi, I'm handing out party favors. Do you want one? She showed you party hats. She insisted they were the key to a true partying mood. She had two options, either a colorful headband with two tiny party hats arranged almost like ears, or a tiara with a star on it. They were both very festive.
It's okay.
No thanks. You knew the teen hadn't actually glared at him. Her default facial expression just seemed grim. I'm gonna pick a crown for obvious reasons. Oh my gosh. You pointed to the crown and the teenager passed it over to you with the solemnness of crowning a monarch. Then you encouraged Cove to, I'm gonna let her go. If he doesn't want one, then he doesn't want one. Both of you had made your decisions and that was it. The unknown teenager nodded approvingly at you both and went to pass out hats to more people. You put the party hat on your head with a smile and it fit well. It was surprisingly comfortable. It really completes your look. When did you get so fashionable? He smirked and you just adjusted your new accessory. I'm a party animal now. It does look very good on me, thanks. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm a freaking party animal now, Cove. Really? Of course. Cove nodded with a thoughtful look on his face. If the party spirit is contained in party hats, does that mean they're haunted? You snorted at the suggestion. You considered the hat on your head. It didn't seem haunted, but maybe that was what it wanted you to think. After that, the people in charge quickly set up the next game. Teenagers milled about until they were told to find partners. You tried to listen to the rules, straining your ears to listen to the adult announcing what you're supposed to do. It was a simple game. One person in a pair would throw candy while the other had to catch it in their mouth. If they caught it, the pair would move on to the next round where everyone would take a step back and the former catcher would become the thrower. The game would continue, the players getting further and further until one set of partners were the only ones left standing, or everyone lost in a round. About half of the guests had already found partners. They moved fast. You noticed Cove had his eyes on you. Could we be partners? Well, no shit. We're the only ones. Oh my gosh. Who else would we be partners with, Cove? Neither of you. But is the party music turned though? Right. Neither of you were all that familiar with anyone else here. It'd be the safe choice to pair up. Yeah, I'll be his partner. Let's do it, cool. Partner. He beamed, and you started wondering about your respective candy catching capabilities. Two rows of players facing each other formed. Cove tilted his head towards them, and you started to head over. You both lined up directly in front of each other. It took a while to pass out the candy. You were handed a small bag of gummies that smelled strongly fruity. You noticed Cove took it upon himself to do a taste test of a red one across from you. They're not bad. You should have waited. You tried one for yourself. Let me try one. You ended up grabbing a purple gummy. It was so sweet and you guessed it was supposed to be grape flavored, but it was mostly just really sugary. And then it was time to begin. Cove's row was set to throw first. He smiled nervously, his eyes wide with seriousness. You grinned widely and he seemed to relax a little. The game was on. The adult in charge shouted for the throwers to go. You and Cove were only a couple feet away from each other. With Cove's careful toss, you caught the candy easily. Like you, most of the other players moved on to the next round. There were a few gaps in the rows as everyone took a step back. The round was harder with pairs further apart, but not overly so. It could be done if both partners tried. You did your best as you tossed it. You had fun with it but still tried. You threw the candy without a care. You made sure it missed. I'm gonna do my best. You carefully plucked a gummy from the bag and you felt the weight. You shifted it in your hand a couple of times for practice and then told Cove you were ready. You went for an underhand throw, careful to aim for Cove's mouth. The blue candy arsed and landed perfectly in Cove's mouth. He chewed it twice and then smiled widely. You could tell Cove was genuinely pleased to make it through another round. You were happy as well. The next round began and you took another step back. Cove was even further away now, but he made an okay sign. He was in this to win it. Around you, the once packed rows of players had thinned out some. You wondered how many rounds everyone had left in them. He's competitive, I can tell. Cove swung his arm and made eye contact with you. You nodded and the green candy flew towards you. You tried your best to catch it. You casually tried. You refused to have a green candy in your mouth. You didn't try to catch it. I'm gonna try my best. You followed the arc of the candy and opened your mouth wide. It had a slight spin on it and you tilted your head to the left to compensate. You bit down on the candy, grinning with your victorious catch. It tasted sweet and vaguely like a Slurpee. That sounds good as shit. Yeah, Rain! Cove was thrilled. He was entirely invested in the game at this point. You and Cove were still in the game. You knew this was the final round. Only a few other pairs were still left. Cove was determined to win. You could see it in the clench of his jaw, the careful way he watched you. You were charmed by his attitude. You equally wanted to win. You didn't want to let him down. You thought it was kind of funny. You felt nervous under pressure. I don't want to let him down. This game meant something to Cove and you respected that. You were going to be here for your partner, and if you wanted to win, well, you needed to try your best. Cove gave you a firm grin and you prepared to throw. Your fingers grabbed an orange gummy from the bag. It felt solid in your grasp, even if your hand was starting to get sticky from touching all the sugary sweets. Cove leaned his face towards you and bent his knees ready to catch it. The time came. You looked at the candy and then Cove. I'm gonna try my best again. The candy flew like a missile straight towards him. He positioned himself effortlessly for it. Cove caught the candy just like that. A wide grin spread on his face as he victoriously chomped down on the candy. Yes! Along with the cheer, he jumped up in excitement and pumped one arm. You look to your left and then to your right. You see the few remaining pairs walking away, commiserating over their losses. With some shock, you realize that you and Cove were the only ones who made it to that round. You won. You watched the moment Cove clicked into the same realization. His face brightened like sunshine and he jogged over to close the distance between you. You stepped closer to meet him halfway. You high-fived him, you put an arm around him, you jumped into a hug, you ruffled his hair, you nudged him in a friendly way, you smiled at him. High five. You put your hand up and Cove high-fived you with a satisfying smack. You'd won this together. He giddily stomped his feet and placed in front of you as though he couldn't contain his energy. We did it! And then he wrapped an arm around your neck, pulling you closer into a celebratory side hug. You adjusted the hat that had nearly fallen off throughout the event. Nice catch, woo, we demolished the competition. The game runner strolled over and merrily gave you both a bunch more candy on top of letting you keep the gummy bags. It was quite the collection. With the candy tossed over, you were going to need something else to do. You didn't have to wait long. You heard someone in the crowd shout that the bounce house was officially open for the older kids. You and Cove shared a look. Cove smiled and you knew he wanted in. You both ran over to the bouncy castle and kicked your shoes off. You crawled into the inflated castle with Cove hot on your heels. There were a couple other teens inside already. You started to get a feel for bouncing. Cove hopped from the middle to the side and back just after you landed from a particularly high jump. Someone else snuck in. It was the birthday girl herself. Oh shit, I went backwards. Hi, Miranda. Hi, birthday girl. Miranda looked happy. She waved both her hands at you with a megawatt grin. I hope you're having fun. She hopped around with her hands in front of her like a kangaroo. It was a surprisingly effective way to clear distance in the bounce house. She then jumped high, kicking both her legs out to the side, and touched the tip of her toes with her fingers. Wow! Miranda hadn't run out of tricks yet. She jumped a couple more times, gaining height before doing a backflip and tucking into a ball. She managed to land on her feet, but didn't stick the landing. She tumbled back and fell on her butt. Cove clapped and Miranda inclined her head almost like a bow. She was back to jumping in no time. You're so good at this. She bounced close enough to the two of you to talk without shouting across the way. Cove's bouncing slowed down to accommodate their conversation.
My family gets these every year. And we have a trampoline in the backyard.
You're so lucky. That's really cool. I want to do flips too. You nodded along to the conversation. You clapped for her sons. I want to do some flips. Miranda giggled a bit and then her eyes sparkled. Hey, I can launch someone if you want. If I jump in front of you, then your bounce will go higher. Okay, launch me. Sure. Miranda leaped over to you, her excitement clear on her face. Cove watched with interest. She explained more clearly how this was supposed to work. You got ready to bounce on her cue. 3, 2, 1... The moment she came down, you jumped high. The force of her, just as she had said, helped launch you up. The air rushed past your face and then you were coming back down. Your feet hit the bounce house hard enough to help launch Miranda up a little as well. She giggled some more and the two of you took turns bouncing each other up. Cove clapped or offered suggestions, but it was becoming clear that he wanted a turn too. Miranda invited him to join and tried to synchronize your bounces to launch Cove up super high. The first time resulted in everyone crashing down in a pile of laughs. By the fifth attempt, Cove managed to catch some serious airtime. Woo! You all had fun bouncing around. You twirled. Miranda did stunts. Cove futilely tried to touch the highest tip in the castle ceiling. You and Cove chatted to Miranda more than you ever had at school. She truly was the queen of this bouncy castle. Whenever someone did something cool, everyone would cheer. If you fell, the others would help you up. Where's the Mookster and Michelle the goldfish tamer? Michelle was in here earlier. I'm not sure where Mookie is. I talked to him kind of recently. Eventually, more people wanted to take turns in the bounce house, so you and Cove left. As you slipped on your shoes and saw Miranda get drawn into conversation with a group of adults. She would be talking to them for a while. You and Cove decided to take a break and hydrate. You went to the party table and grabbed some ice water. Cove handed you a party noisemaker he'd picked up from the same table. He blew on his, and it made a funny sound when it unrolled. Cove downed his drink in a couple gulps. He had gotten pretty into bouncing after all. You were still sipping on your water when Cove blew his noisemaker again, then again, and again. It was almost a tune. You don't recognize any particular melody, but a noisemaker also isn't an instrument. The noise cut through the hum of the other party guests, loud and noticeable. You asked Cove to stop. You started blowing on your own. You blew your noisemaker back at Cove. You were amused by his antics. You put your noisemaker up to your lips and started making your own noise. Cove turned to face you and blew the paper of his noisemaker at you. It was a hair's breadth away from touching you.
Oh, great. You people again.
Oh my fucking god, it's Jeremy. I forgot about his bitch ass. Let's see if he still has his bowl cut. Why does he sound like an evil villain? What the hell? Someone vaguely familiar shouted and you snapped your head to the side. Cove's noisemaker dropped from his mouth. The speaker stepped up and there was no doubt it was Jeremy, that mean boy you met at the start of the summer. You groaned at the sight of him. Oh, hey, it's the bowl cut kid. You felt very uncomfortable and didn't know what to do. You instantly got angry at his presence. You tried to ignore Jeremy. You tried to be polite. I'm saying this. Jeremy's scowl told you everything about what he thought of that moniker. Look at how tiny he is. Why are you here? Cove's tone was defensive. He watched Jeremy's face turn slack as if Cove's question was the idiocy above all idiocies. Didn't I already explain this? He hadn't, so both you and Cove exchanged a look. Do you have memory loss, or are you really that stupid? Seriously.
I didn't walk here.
My parents brought me. Apparently, I couldn't just stay inside like I wanted. No, they insisted that I get out and enjoy the day and have fun on vacation, blah, blah, blah. He said enjoy the day and have fun on vacation like some people would say scrub the entire bathroom or listen to an off-key singer for 10 hours. They found a park because I hate the beach. Too bad I also hate parks. Ugh, it's dirty here. They don't know anything. Oh, and then they saw this stupid party and decided to bother some adults by asking what was going on. They think maybe we could be included. It's moronic. Right, when the introvert is forced out of his cave, right? Get it now? That's how my parents are. Annoying and embarrassing. Why would anybody want strangers at their birthday? Why can't they ever just leave things alone? I mean, I kind of agree with that. It's kind of weird. We're here. We don't even know this girl. Like, he huffed loudly and his eyes shot daggers at some grown-ups that were presumably were his parents. I want to see his parents. Yeah, that's really awkward. That doesn't sound very bad. And all you can do is complain about it. Sucks to be you. You tried to be friendly and welcome Jeremy to the park. You didn't bother trying to respond to that mess of a rant. Yeah, I'm gonna just ignore him. This was not your problem and you wanted to keep it that way. Jeremy's eyes slipped away from you to take in the rest of the park for a bit. It was a little awkward. It was possible he didn't know what to do, but then he spoke again.
So dumb.
How can people really go around in those embarrassing party hats? Do they think it's fun or something? How could a human being be so dumb? Jeremy shook his head and glanced at Cove's lack of a hat. I guess that's one brain point for you. It's just kind of nice to do party stuff. Jeremy scoffed, unimpressed. The expression on his face was nasty as he spoke. Exactly, like why is he that mad? I'm not surprised an empty-headed person like you would think that. Jeremy looked you over completely dismissive. It's so rude you can't help but feel offended. Cove's face hardened. He seemed more offended than when anyone actually insulted him personally. Hey. Just because you don't know how to be happy doesn't mean no one else does. And it's not our fault if you hate everything. It's not okay for you to take it out on Rain. My boy having my back. I'm about to cry. She isn't doing anything wrong. You are. Jeremy seemed unfazed by Cove's defense and sniffed. Rain can humiliate herself on her own. She doesn't need you to step in and do it for her. You poured your drink on Jeremy. You pushed Jeremy. You punched Jeremy in the face. You drowned his words with your noisemaker. You stood still shocked. You teared up. Fuck tearing up. I'm not crying over bowl cut. I'm about to do this. I want to do one of these, but I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just blow my noisemaker and have a great day. Like a princess. You're both dude. You're dude. It didn't take long for him to piece together that you weren't gonna let him speak without interruption.
Stupid.
Oh my god. He shut his mouth though and finally stopped talking. You're a dick. Oh! Oh my! We starting to grow up in this game. We're using this kind of language now? You're ruining someone's birthday. I'm gonna find your parents and tell them what's going on. Don't say anything like that ever again. You laughed at his reaction. You said nothing. I'm about to snitch. How about that? I'm about to snitch. People were starting to watch what was going down. Your argument wasn't exactly quiet at this point. Why don't you just leave us alone if we're so awful? Jeremy glared even more and huffed.
Dumbasses.
What? We starting to cuss now? We starting to cuss now? We not kids anymore? Talking to you is pointless, dumbasses. Oh my gosh. He stalked off like the last time you saw him, muttering under his breath. You blew your noisemaker after him with a final long, dude. Cove sighed in relief after Jeremy was gone. He relaxed, but only for a moment. He noticed just how much attention you'd drawn from the other guests. Luckily, it hadn't gone on long enough to get a real crowd. A concerned adult in a blue button-up shirt approached and asked you who that was and if everyone was all right.
Okay.
Cove looked at you cautiously, asking just as much as the adult if you were okay. It's cool, not what I would call fun, but I'll live. The concerned adult lingered for a few seconds, but nodded and left you alone. The Jeremy fiasco was finally officially over. Cove rubbed his eyes, clearly ready to put all that nonsense behind him. Then he started laughing. It was a surprise laugh, breaking out in his chest without any actual joy. It was nervous and disbelieving, and all the complex emotions brought about it by one meeting with Jeremy. I can't believe it. He spoke in fits and starts. The look on his face after you started with it was hilarious. How can Jeremy be like that? He shouted at us, he barely knows us, and it was at a birthday party for somebody he's never met. You agreed Jeremy is totally nuts. You wish that you had done something more. You hoped that you would never see him again. You weren't sure how to feel. You were just happy he was gone. You felt sad that he was so mean. I'm not sad over him. He's nuts. I don't understand him at all. Cove seemed to think about his next words carefully before he spoke. I don't think it matters what we do around him. Jeremy's just gonna yell no matter what. We shouldn't worry about it. Do you want to tell your moms about Jeremy, I mean? He always picks a fight. Maybe they know how to handle someone like him. Thanks for asking. You decided to bring it up to your moms later? You wanted to keep this between you and Cove? I'm snitching. I'll let them know everything. Okay. Finally, you bent over to pick up the noisemaker that Cove dropped when Jeremy appeared. It might be too dirty to use now, but you didn't want to leave it there. He accepted it softly when you offered the little favor back to him. Thanks, Rain. I like how we can be there for each other. It makes me feel better about that kind of stuff when it happens. Yeah. Cove suggested that you should find a seat at one of the tables. It was almost cake time and he wanted to be prepared. It was a good reminder that the party wasn't over yet. Cake! I think that table works. It's close to the refreshments at least. You and Cove tried to settle down after the last event. You took seats across from one another at one of the park tables. There were a few attempts to chat, but for the most part, you simply watched the adults run around to set up the cake cutting. There was a minor panic when who you assumed was Miranda's dad apparently forgot the lighter for the candles. He and another man went through and started asking the other adults for matches or lighters. They weren't having any luck until the grim-faced teenager who had been passing out party hats pulled a green lighter out of the ice cream cooler. Why the lighter was put in the cooler remained a mystery, but with party hat girls find it was time to get things going again. Miranda sat at the head of the longest table. A large chocolate cake was set in front of her. She lit all 14 candles with the cooler lighter with a big smile. The adults started singing happy birthday and the rest of the guests joined in. At the end of the song, Miranda blew out the candles with a dedicated huff. She closed her eyes and you saw her silently mouth something. Maybe it was a birthday wish. Miranda cut her own slice, then one of the grown-ups took over cutting the cake. Another adult passed around plates of cake slices with a scoop of vanilla ice cream to the guests. Eventually, the cake got around to you and Cove. Cove was pleased with the treat in general. The cake looked rich and moist. Oh my gosh. It smelled quite chocolatey. You only wanted to eat the ice cream. You only wanted the cake. You wanted both the cake and the ice cream. You didn't want anything. I just want the ice cream. You took the plastic spoon and tried a bite of the ice cream. It was a little plain, like most bulk vanilla ice cream, but it was still ice cream. You liked it and took another bite. The cake, however, you shoved off to the very side of your plate. Hey, I'll take what you don't want. Cove eyed you hopefully, and you could hear his legs swinging against the tablecloth hanging over the side of the table. You slid your plate over, you shook your head and kept your plate. Cove transferred what you didn't want to his plate and then handed yours back. Thanks. He beamed and you felt a little better that your unwanted dessert would still be enjoyed. Cove then took his fork and started mashing up some of his cake. When the cake resembled a pile of crumbly chunks, he started mixing it into the ice cream. The melted parts of the ice cream made a kind of chocolate cake soup. You raised your eyebrow. You told him you do the same thing. You thought it looked gross. I've never done that, but I want to. I'm not going to react. So what if he was mixing his dessert? That wasn't your business. Cove contentedly chowed down in his concoction. One advantage to his mix is that the ice cream seemed to catch most of the crumbs that would usually fall from eating the cake. Unlike some of the other kids around him, Cove's shirt remained clean. You started eating your dessert in earnest. You enjoyed yourself plenty. Cove suddenly put his fork down on his plate and stared up to the sky. With a faraway expression, you checked, but didn't see anything attention-grabbing. This ice cream is better than those ones in cups, you know, with the little wooden spoons, but I still kind of want that instead. You remembered what kind he was talking about. Oh yeah, like the ones handed out at the barbecue before the fireworks happened.
Right.
Cove smiled nostalgically at the thought. You could picture a younger Cove for a moment with the same look in his eyes. Aw, when we went there to the park, that was so cute. You remembered how your mom tried to share with everyone that night. You held up your fork and offered a bite of your dessert to him. You asked if you could have a bite of his dessert. You smiled about the memory to yourself. Miranda then started to open her gift. She systematically attacked the mountain of presents like a pro. She checked for any cards and read them loudly before opening a gift. She smiled at every present, including the ones you and Cove got her. You were glad the presents were accepted. It took time, but eventually Miranda got through all the gifts. She was very sweet and polite throughout it all. The party went until the sun began to set. By that point, most of everything had settled down and people had begun to leave. Yeah, ice cream cups. Any of the guests whose parents had stayed for the party were already gone except for Miranda's family. Only a few kids still waiting for their parents to come get them remained, you and Cove included. Miranda's family were cleaning up, and as a guest, neither you nor Cove were supposed to help with that. Instead, you both had decided to take it easy in the bouncy castle. It was somewhere out of the way where you could casually wait for your ride. Miranda had also elected to hang out with you. You weren't even bouncing anymore. Cove laid on his side with his back to a wall, and Miranda sat across from him with her legs stretched out. You also made yourself comfortable. It was nice and warm in the little building. It also felt like you had some privacy, which was nice. You could all speak openly here. She does not look 14. Thanks for coming. She looked down but continued shyly. It's been really cool to get to hang out with you a little bit. Thanks for letting me come. I didn't think I'd be invited. Thanks for me too, Miranda. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either. I'm so happy I could come. You shrugged. You chose not to respond. Miranda just smiled a little more. Did you notice anything happening earlier with some people you don't know showing up? She had to think about his question a little. It was apparent that she didn't have an encounter with Jeremy since there was no instant recognition. I heard about something. Some other parents were talking to my parents when their kid came and forced them to leave the park. Oh, damn. Not them kicking Jeremy's parents out. She tilted her head to the side, finding it weird but also not important. Then everyone had cake and ice cream. Cove smiled uncomfortably. That's good. He was clearly worried that the Jeremy confrontation could have gotten to her. Luckily, it didn't seem that anyone had overheard or passed along Jeremy's cruel words. Cove rolled over on his back and sighed contentedly. Miranda seemed confused but wasn't going to push. You got up and started bouncing again. You laid back and closed your eyes to rest. You changed the subject. You told her about the ordeal. I don't want to ruin her birthday. I'm about to rest. I'm tired. The air-filled floor was comfy, and when you listened, you could feel the vibrations of the blower keeping this bounce house up. The silence stretched between everyone. You opened your eyes to take a peek at the others. Cove was still relaxing, but Miranda was looking between you two, looking confused. You smiled to yourself and closed your eyes once more. You spent the rest of the time content and dozing until it was time to go home. At the end of the day, you thought it had been quite the party. Damn. We've only done 3. They've been long, though. They've been really, really, really long. Oh, I wish we could play these. They kicked the whole family out. Guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here, as I don't want to be streaming this too late. I think we got a decent amount in. Next time, we'll wrap these up. So we'll do these 3 next time, and then we will see them grow up until the next stage. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed. This was a really fun stream. Thank you to all of you guys that came and hung out with me. You're gonna go back and watch the part you missed? Okay, cool. Yay. Thank you for going back and watching it. Yeah, definitely catch up, guys, while you can, and then we'll jump back into this maybe next Tuesday or so. And we'll get to see them grow up even more, which will be very, very interesting. Let me go ahead and save this so I can make sure it's not, you know, not unsaved. Get some music going. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. This was a really fun stream, guys. Shout out to Chase for the gifted memberships. I appreciate all of you guys being here. And I don't know if Supreme is still here. I don't think he is, but we gotta find out who Supreme's favorite 2 characters are. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. I hope you guys have fun. Have a great rest of your night, guys. And I will see you guys on Thursday with Venus City, unless I stream it tomorrow. I don't know. I might stream it tomorrow and Thursday, or I might just chill out a little bit tomorrow and then jump back into streaming it on Thursday. But I will see you guys then, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Bye, guys.